What's up, old school homies? Let's talk about the Firebass 700 bass amp head and what might be the best cabinet to go with it. I just have the head at this point. It's really got nothing to hook up to, and it's making me feel like, I really need a cabinet or something, like I need something to hook it up to. So I'm doing a lot of research before I just jump into exactly what would be the right cabinet, because the girl that sold me the head, she had a pretty cool cabinet, but it was the size of a refrigerator. It was a little bit too big, and then she didn't want to let go of it either. She was kind of sentimental about it. And yeah, a amp head that big is pretty big. 700 watts is plenty of power for a lot of different applications, including something the size of a refrigerator. So I started thinking, what would be like the smallest thing that I could hook up to and be satisfied? Start thinking small, work up, right? And then I started reading other people complaining that if you have a really powerful bass amp head, not to hook it up to really weak ass speakers, because it's not going to sound good. It's not really balanced. It really wasn't intended for that. And weak speakers isn't really what I wanted anyways, because I already have a quiet bass rig and I kind of want something really loud in order to just turn it up at low volumes and still hear myself, rather than to be pulling on the strings trying to get some tone out of the maximum volume of my bass amp and still not really being satisfied. So loudness does matter, including if you want to play live. This is basically a live rig, and should we set it up to be as loud as it can go? Should I get a serious refrigerator sized cabinet? I don't know. I don't really have the car to drag it around. I don't think it'll fit in my car, basically. So I have to borrow a car, and y'all know how that goes. I have a video on that. Other people just don't like you borrowing their car. Not that I'm not trustworthy. I'm a very good driver, but other people are protective of their stuff, and rightfully so, Maybe I'll get a van and then get a bigger amp to roll into there, that would make more sense. But it's more steps. So I tried to do research, what were people hooking this bass amp head to originally to have period correct equipment. It would be cool to have something that matched, like a PV cabinet to go with your PV bass amp head, run a theme here. I tried to research, is the old PV stuff worth getting into? And actually a lot of the baskets are replaceable, so if you get the old speaker and replace the basket on it, you pretty much got a new speaker to some degree. And the gear was pretty cheap, so I was like, you know what, maybe I should really start getting a PV full rig since I like PV stuff anyways. And then it started getting more complicated. There was the traditional two 15-inch speakers. That seemed super popular. There was a 15 with two 10s, or maybe it was two 8s. There's something like that. It's pretty popular. 4 10s is pretty popular. One 18-inch is kind of popular. And you're just like, I don't know which one to go with, Yeah, I should get smaller ones and split them apart so they're not so heavy to carry. And then I don't know, it's complicated.